There is a subreddit called Am I Wrong? Where people want to know, are they right or are they wrong in this situation? And you and I, today, we're going to help them out. Starting with, am I wrong for not lashing out at this girl for saying that I have ugly privilege? What is ugly privilege? If I were to guess what ugly privilege is, my guess is that you can go places without being noticed. I still feel so gobsmacked from this interaction. I'm not even mad. I'm just confused about what I should have done. I was talking to this girl who I sat next to during spin class about how hard the class was outside after it had ended. For a little bit of context, we are both in our early 20s, but she looks like your quintessential tall, tan, and pretty blonde, while I'm darker skinned and built like a toadstool, short and stout. This could be at any gym, but this feels very LA, you know. We were both in workout clothes, and a guy catcalled her saying how good she looked in her fit walking by with his friends. She scoffed, turned to me and said, "Oh my God, guys are so disgusting. You're so lucky that you have ugly privilege and don't have to worry about things like that." Surprise microphone! Man, my eyes it looks like I've been crying all night. I haven't, though. I'm just tired. When I'm tired, I wear glasses, all right? This is what it is. It distracts from the rest of my face. Being floored and very confused, I asked her what she meant, and she clarified that I clearly don't have to worry about things like being catcalled, harassed by men, or being discriminated against in the workplace. Is that an ugly thing, or is that being a guy thing? I wouldn't call it ugly privilege, though. I wouldn't call it that. Not to somebody that I just met. No. That's bad. That tells me you have zero social skills. Unless she did it in a cruel, deliberate way to make sure that that guy never hits on her. Wouldn't that be a crazy move if she was like, I think this guy's gonna hit on me. Let me just call him ugly first, just to make sure he knows how I feel, so he doesn't ask me for my phone number at the end of this interaction. That would be wild. She also said that it must be so refreshing to not have to spend hours worrying about how I look around men. Are you a guy? Are you a guy? I was talking to this girl after this. Oh, why did I think you were a guy? Why did I think you were a man? Oh, dude, that's so weird. Well, if you're a woman, this is horrible. I called my boyfriend. Yeah, what the f? Oh, this is way worse. This is way worse than I thought it was. She also said that it must be so refreshing to not have to spend hours worrying about how I look around men. Genuinely being at a loss for words, I just said okay and told her to have a good day before I went to my car and sat in confusion for 5 minutes. So you're a woman and a woman told you that? I thought she was saying that to a guy. I don't know why, but I thought she was saying that to a dude. Oh no, you better catch these hands. That's crazy. That's how you get in a fist fight. That's crazy. How are you? A woman said that to another woman? I called my boyfriend and told him about the interaction. After sharing in my initial shock, he was confused as to why I didn't have a comeback and told me that I should have stood up for myself. I am normally a very passive person, and she genuinely didn't seem to get how insulting it sounded. But now I'm wondering if I should have lashed out. Lashed out? I don't know. I don't know if lashed out is correct. Because to me, the phrase lashed out implies that it's kind of coming out of nowhere. Like it's a whip in the distance. Whoosh, you're just coming out of nowhere, and suddenly it's in your field of view. That's what lashed out means to me. I don't think this is lashing out. I think it's you defending yourself and be like, hey, you, that's a crazy thing to say. You know, maybe this woman is from a family where they all like jab at each other. But if this is kind of a stranger to you, it's just some girl, not even a friend of yours, and she's saying stuff like that, like, I think she needs to be, you know, I'm not an advocate for violence here. I'm just saying some people have never been confronted. And this is one of those situations where it's like, nah, you gotta throw hands, dude. You gotta get them claws out, bro. Just give her a little love tap on the forehead. Just do one of these. You know what? In this situation, just do one of these. No! Flick her on the forehead. No! Bad! That would solve it. A little flick on the forehead. She's honestly a total B. She meant to insult you. I'm so sorry. You deserve better. Well, bless her heart. Isn't she just the best at backhanded compliments like ever? I believe Ron White had the best comeback line for this. You can't fix stupid. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what a good reply would have been to this person. Let me chew on this one. Let me chew for a second. Let me just. F you. I can't think of anything good, dude. What would you say to somebody who just straight up is saying you have ugly privilege? I think the only response is like, wow, that's so wild. And I think good for you. You know, you have stupid privilege to where you think you can get away with saying things like that. It must be nice to to breeze through life unencumbered by thought. Yes, she has stupid privilege. Too bad your personality doesn't match your looks. Boom! Oh, don't worry. When you get old, you'll have ugly privileges too. Boom! You'd probably have pretty privilege if you didn't have coming out of your mouth. Boom! Too bad pretty fades and stupid is forever. Boom! Haha, a quick, I know what you mean. I always envy bimbos with stupid privilege. Going around in blissful ignorance, saying things without ever having to think would have been perfect. This is scripted brilliance. Memorize that the next time this situation occurs, which is never. That should never happen to you again. Some moron telling you have ugly privilege. Am I wrong for leaving a date without telling him? I met a guy online, claimed to be 4 years older than me, but no big deal. I'm 24. We were interested in the same things and got along well, so we decided to meet for a drink last weekend. I went to the bar and was looking for him, then I seen him, but he looked different. Older. I went over and met him and said, he looks different than his picture. And he said, oh yeah, those pictures are a few years old. I said, but you're 28, right? He said he was actually 42, but age is just a number. Homie, you lied. If you were upfront about being 42, you'd be with, I don't know. That's weird, bro. It's not even the age thing. It's the you lying thing. I got the ick, so I said I forgot my phone in the car and left. He messaged me asking where I was, and I said I went home, that I'm not into older guys or being lied to. He said I was shallow, and that's why he doesn't say his real age. Honestly, I thought the whole thing was funny, so I told my friend. She said I'm mean for just leaving a date and not even telling him, that maybe he was a nice guy and I'm being judgmental because of his age. No. You don't owe people your time if they're straight up lying to you from the start. That's stupid. Your friend is really silly for trying to... No, stand up for yourself. Get up off the ground. I'm not into guys that much older. People can do what they want, but it's not for me. Am I wrong for leaving? No, you are correct. It's fine. The guy calling you shallow is a manipulative tactic. You dodged a huge bullet. Your friend is silly for recommending that you go back. I don't know what your friend was thinking, but yeah, dude, no. No, you're completely in the right here. But age is just a number. If it's just a number, then why lie about it? You're not wrong. Good for you for leaving. It needed a, that's amazing that you think like that. My grandma is single. I'll pass your number to her. Boom! Yeah, there's Reddit is just full of comebacks. But age is just a number. And why is he seeking out much younger women instead of women his own age if age is just a number? He should seek out women double his age instead of half his age then. I bet they aren't shallow. It's a weird tactic. It's a manipulative, weird tactic, and I think I'm talking to the 42-year-old now. It's like a spider setting a trap. It's like one of those trapdoor spiders. You know what I mean? They hide. They're like, yes, I'm 20. Yes, I'm 28. Come see me. And then they show up, and you're like, bam! I'm 42. Now I'm putting it on you to have to make the uncomfortable decision to leave. The only reason why you would let yourself stick around is if you are comfortable with me being a liar. That is the only reason why. That's so dumb. What was he gonna do? Was he gonna go on to be like, yeah, I'm 42, but it ain't all that bad. I'm also rich. Pulls out his phone to Snapchat at the bar. If they lie about one thing, they'll lie about something else. Yeah, and it's not even a big thing to lie about. 42 also is not like old. I mean, you could date whoever. At 42, theoretically, you could date a 24-year-old if you are upfront about it and if they don't care. That's fine. It's whatever. It's out there. People do that. I mean, I'm in LA, so I see that shit all the time. But like, if you're honest about it and you both understand, whatever. Dude, what am I going to do? Call the police? No. 42 is not creepy old guy age. So why do you gotta do creepy old guy stuff? You're behaving like a creep. And I think that puts you firmly in that category. I use a fake name on Bumble, which is a westernized close match to my actual name. I did this because I believe my name was putting girls off. I often think about exactly what you've said in your comment. I wouldn't lie about anything else, but doesn't look good. I mean, lying about your name, it's not, you're giving yourself a nickname that people can attach to. Giving yourself a nickname to be easier to pronounce is like a byproduct of being in the United States. I get it, but you're not changing your age. That's a completely different thing. Your friend is not looking out for you. I would not take her advice in the future. Why does she care more about some guy who's clearly waving bright red flags than she cares about you? Is she not aware that this is potentially a dangerous situation and you were completely right to ditch this guy? Good for you for getting out of there ASAP. What a dumb situation. What a weird situation to be in. Am I wrong for ending a 20-year marriage because I learned my wife cheated on me while we were dating? My wife and I have been married for 20 years. We started dating in high school when I was a junior and she was a senior. We were long distance for her first 2 years of college while I was in high school and did 1 year of community college. Then we went to college in the same city for a year and have lived together since. Okay, so you were long distance. And this is a very common thing, man. You know when you're a freshman in a college and then some girl is like, yeah, I have a boyfriend, but he's on the other side of the country. I don't know. Like, that's such a common thing, I feel like. And I for sure saw somebody that I knew cheating on her boyfriend in 4 years. We got married the summer after I graduated college. Our marriage has been pretty great so far, but I initiated a divorce after I discovered that she was sleeping with multiple other men for the 2 years we were long distance. Oh, multiple? This is interesting. Just after Christmas, we got together with a few friends of hers from college to catch up, have dinner, and hang out. We talked about a lot of stuff, and my wife mentioned that we met in high school. Not that we dated, just that we met. Her old college roommate commented that it was crazy that we met in high school, had a few wild years in college, then ended up together. I played along and commented that I didn't know if my wife was as crazy as I was. The roommate started to tell a story, but my wife cut her off and said she was uncomfortable about it. I sensed something was up, so I said that we actually started dating in high school and we were together for my wife's entire time at college. All of my wife's friends got real quiet and the rest of the dinner was awkward. So she lied to her friends. Her friends didn't know that you were together in high school? So you lied and said you were single the whole time. On the way out, one of her other roommates took me aside and said I should have an honest conversation about what happened at college. I asked my wife on the way home and she kind of blew me off. I told her it was important that she was honest with me, and again, she said it wasn't important. When we got home, I told her I was going to stay at my brother's house until she was ready to talk about what happened in college. The next day, she came over and admitted to sleeping with several men during her first 2 years at college. She said she didn't consider it a big deal at the time because we were long distance and she didn't think a high school romance would last. I pressed for more details and she said it was at least 10 different men, including at least 3 guys she's introduced to me as friends when I came to visit on weekends, and 1 guy she was still in contact with. I told her that I wanted a divorce and would be starting the paperwork as soon as I could, which I did on January 2nd. Oh man, oh God. Her family and most of my family is telling me that I shouldn't throw away my marriage over a few mistakes. I've stood by my belief that cheating on me with multiple men for years is unacceptable no matter when it happened, and the fact that she continued to maintain relationships with these guys right in front of me was an unacceptable amount of disrespect. Yeah, I mean, she certainly is practiced at lying to you. That's the thing. She is practiced at lying to you, and she has been practicing that for the past 20 years. We have 2 children, but they are 17 and 19, and I believe they will understand why I need to end the marriage. Am I wrong for leaving? I feel like I'm going crazy with the amount of people telling me to look over years of infidelity and decades of lives. Obviously, answer every question, but the reason I posted this is that my wife and a few friends have been saying it's common to sleep with other folks when you're in a long-distance relationship, and that I'm kind of the odd one out for not sleeping around. That's something that your wife's friends are saying to her to make her feel better. This should not make you feel better. You are being gaslit. I felt like I was being gaslit, but I wanted an outside perspective. We live in a state with a waiting period to finalize a divorce, so I felt it was a reasonable idea to get some insight before things are finalized. After these comments, I see a handful of folks saying it's normal to sleep around during a long-distance relationship, but it seems to be a significant minority. I don't know. I think maybe your wife thought there was an unspoken rule about being non-monogamous, and that is cheating. That's cheating, homie. If you're in a long-distance relationship and you feel like the other person is your partner and you're being lied to cover those tracks, yeah, dog. We saw each other a couple of weekends a month during the 2-year college period. I lived about 3 hours away from her college. Only 3 hours away? You only lived 3 hours away? It's not like you were in a different country. You could just drive a couple hours? So it was long distance, but not like cross country. This was not a situation where we went months without seeing each other. Oh yeah, dog. That's different. The 3 guys I met while she was in college were meetups that happened during parties. The subject of me being a boyfriend didn't really come up, so I honestly don't know if these guys knew anything. The 1 guy we're still in contact with married a mutual friend from college. This is not some guy she secretly messages on the side. It's somebody we've talked to regularly for years. I've talked to him a few times since I've learned about my wife. He said he didn't know we were dating at the time and has since blocked my wife on social media. You just don't trust your wife. bro. You just don't trust her. And like, when you know somebody for a long time like this, you've been dating since high school, you kind of are locked into believing that they are the exact same person they were in high school. You're in your 40s now. You are not who you were when you were 17, 18, 19. You're not. I'm not. And I'm glad I'm not. I was freaking wild back then, dude. I was wrong all the time about a lot of stuff. You know, I was dumb. Everybody's dumb in high school. And when you're in college, the way that, the world conditions you is to think you're supposed to go crazy. You're supposed to go wild. I didn't, because I got real tired at 10 p.m. and I went to bed, and and that was me. But I also wasn't in a long distance relationship. So I was open to therapy or some kind of attempt to save the marriage, but her insistence that this whole thing is common and I'm the one who's out of line is just too much for me. They're disrespecting you, and they're not going to respect the therapist. I get it. It's how they're dealing with this situation that's really turning you off. I guess if she owned up to it in a different way and addressed your concerns and addressed your feelings and was like, look, I screwed up major. I really am ashamed of that person I was 20 years ago, but don't you change every cell in your body every 7 years? You're physically not even the same human being. The only time she showed any remorse or even offer to reconcile is when I started filing paperwork. In the last week, she's gone back to saying she's right and I'm overreacting. This is also why I'm feeling like I'm being gaslit. It seems obvious that this is a major issue, but I've got my wife and others telling me it's normal and I'm overreacting. Okay, so we're getting all the context we need here. I'm really curious what Reddit is going to say. My thinking is that they're going to say how she reacted to the situation is the reason why you should file, because she's trying to dismiss it and she's not confronting these difficult feelings. But she thought she was going to get away with it. She got away with it for 20 years. And she is practiced at lying to you. That's a big thing. She's practiced at lying to you. She's good at it. You didn't notice anything for 20 years, dude. That would rock my world. Based on some of the comments here, I followed up with a friend that said I should have an honest conversation. She told me that 10 guys would be on the low end and that her biggest concern was that there was apparently at least one pregnancy scare that I didn't know about. I honestly don't think that really changes much. It's less about the number for me and more about the fact that she seems incapable of recognizing why this was wrong or why I feel betrayed. So yeah, do I think you're wrong? No, I don't. This could have gone a different way based on just the title. Like, if it was a thing that she really regrets and talk to people about and whatever, then yeah, I think you could have saved it. But I think it's that she's practiced in lying to you. She lied to her friends as well, and she's kind of gaslighting you into making you feel like this isn't a big deal. Let's see these comments. She cheated and lied to you, then maintained contact with at least one of her F buddies and introduced you to many of the guys that were banging her. That is not only dishonest, but cruel. I think you are 100% in the right. Who knows what else she's done? You have no way of knowing. That's the thing. The trust has been fractured. It's fractured because she's practiced at lying. It's dishonest, but cruel. Cruel is interesting. I think it's a power trip. I think it's like she wanted to feel bad. She wanted to feel naughty, and so she did that. Yeah, that's the part that stuck with me most as well. My marriage ended primarily due to my ex cheating on me. The part that hurt the most was that it was with her coworker, someone she made quick friends with, and someone who was trying to be friends with me too. We had him and his wife over to hang out, and just him over on multiple occasions. Cheating sucks either way, but to be so brazen about it by waving your affair partner in front of your partner's face is something else. Certainly made me feel like a tool. I wish you the best, Op. Don't let anyone tell you it's not so bad because it was a long time ago. She chose to keep it a secret and would have continued doing so. I guess she didn't feel that guilty about it. That's not someone you can trust. The thing about this being a long time ago, it's a long time ago for the other person, but it is brand new to you. So they cannot control how you react to it because it's brand new to you. They have 20 years of callousing their minds against it. They have 20 years of numbing themselves to the feelings of guilt. They have 20 years of coping, and you just got it. You just got it. And the fact that she can't be honest with her friends around you, they can't talk and laugh about how they were when they were younger around you. You're not dating 100% of your partner. You're dating 90% of her. Nothing wrong with getting down and around. Nothing wrong with being a little, freaky freak in college. Cool. But lying about it, and you were in a relationship. Ugh. Am I wrong for reporting a high school student for stealing, resulting in them losing out on scholarships? I ordered an item with a price tag of $2,200 US. Okay, so let's pretend that is like a MacBook Pro. I have camera footage. I brought it to the attention of the parents and they ignored it. So you knew who the parents of this kid were? Was it like a neighborhood kid? Only way to get a replacement was by filing a police report. 3 months later, the police completed the investigation, and they did arrest and charge my neighbor's child. Generally, the community and parents are telling me I ruined the future of a child over $2,200. The kid in question is 17. He stole something from you. The fact that the other parents ignored it is bad. They should have been like, oh, what the heck? Come here, give him that thing back. You know? That should have been it. Did they give it back to you? That's the question. When you brought it up to them, did they go, oh, did they give it back to you? And then they ignored it? Or did they ignore it entirely? You know, are they working with their kids to steal and sell it? You know, you might have just cracked open a case. You know, you might have just cracked open a whole crime. That's such a peaceful motif for a crime. That's crime! The police that took my report off the record did recommend I drop the issue since this would fall under a felony and could really screw up this kid's life. Was I wrong because I wanted my item back? No, this kid should learn that stealing is bad. Stealing thousands of dollars of stuff is bad. You're not wrong. How the hell did that kid get a scholarship anyway? You're young, you're 17, this kid is 17, he should learn that actions have consequences and never do shit like that again. This person says, people genuinely think you're supposed to take a $2,200 loss to not screw up a 17-year-old's future? Hard pass. Parents could have remedied it. Parents failed this kid, not you. Yup, it's the parents. And the fact that you clearly didn't get the item back. You didn't get your MacBook Pro back. If I had a new computer coming in the mail, I have a battery coming in the mail right now. A little battery thing that you could plug your phone into, and you could plug, it's a little power bank thing. It's like this big, and it's multiple charges. I wait by my door every day. It should have been here yesterday. I'm waiting by my door every day. I'm so excited for this battery. I'm so excited for it. I can't imagine getting a MacBook Pro, waiting every day for weeks for it to come in the mail, and then it's stolen, and then you give it to the parents, and they're like, we don't care. They're also SpongeBob doing an impression of an old person. You're completely in the right. Boo, stealing bad. I think when I was a kid, dude, the one thing that would irritate me more than anything else on this planet was a kid taking my backpack as a joke. I'd be like, give it back! Give that back to me right now! That would, I'm having a stronger visceral reaction to stealing than I am cheating. I guess I don't read a lot of stories about stealing. But stealing, God, that gets me going, man. Yeah, I would eat $20 of damage, but $2,200 could make someone homeless. These people are crazy for being mad at us. Yeah, that's a whole rent pay, or like multiple. Seriously, that's like stealing my rent money for the month. Yeah, dude, that's totally on the parents. They should have known. Forget the scholarship. Forget all that, dude. The problem is, once you go through with it, and you already went through with it, now there's kind of a target on your back, to be honest. There's kind of a target on your back based on the neighbors who sympathize with that kid. You're not wrong. If the parents saw the video and did nothing, they are in the wrong. The only thing that will stop the behavior are consequences. Hey, hello, actions? Yes. Meet consequences. No! Keeping felony theft off the kid's record isn't worth $2,200 to the parents and kid, but it's supposed to be worth $2,200 to op? That's the thing. If you just gave it back to the guy, this would have been prevented. This whole thing would have been fine. Big mistake on the parents' part. If you ever plan on having kids in the future, just remember, you gotta be the one to give them consequences. I know you want to be a nice parent, you want to be good, you want to be their best friend. You gotta be the one to give them consequences, or the world will do it. But you gotta give the kid balance, because otherwise the world is gonna even you out, dog. Karma's gonna come. And in the words of Jojo Siwa, karma's gonna be. I should've known better. You get one whack, you now mess around. Outro.